We are here tonight to talk all things projects. So if you're embarking on a project and you'd like some information about the wonderful portfolio of products that we have designed to protect and beautify your space, you've certainly come to the right place. Not only that, we're here to talk about our wonderful collection of colours that we have available to help you to beautify your space. So, and in case I didn't mention it earlier, today actually, is International Colour Day. So it's fantastic that we are able to be here on International Colour Day to, to celebrate that and to talk all things colour. So it's fantastic to have you joining us. So I thank you very much for joining our session this evening. So I'm going to tell you how our sessions run for those that are new to joining us, if you like. So for the first half an hour, I'm going to be on screen in front of the camera and we'll be streaming live, and I'm here to answer all of your questions. So it is a fantastic time, if you do have any questions, to pop them into our live feed as we're streaming, and that will come to me and I'll certainly do my best to answer them for you. And then once we finish streaming, so half an hour, I sit behind the computer, if you like, for a further half an hour. And that's another fantastic time where you can then send photos through to me, because while we're streaming, unfortunately, you're unable to send any images. So you just have to hold off until I finish streaming for the images. But this is a great opportunity for you to, use this session and start popping some questions in. And I already do have my first question. So tonight we are talking frequently asked questions, and the way the sessions run, or the way that we capture the questions, if you like, is we look at all of our social media platforms and we sort of find and group all of our questions, and then sort of, narrow it down and have a look at what people are really wanting to understand or know about. So we like to keep it real. So I do have a heap of questions that have come through because we haven't been online for, I think it must have been at least 2 or 3 weeks. So in that time, we've got a heap. So I'm going to start. So as I said before, use it as a fantastic opportunity to certainly find out more information about our wonderful products that we have designed to help you bring your projects to life, and also certainly ask any questions that you do have about colour. So the first question I have is from Alicia Madsen. So thank you very much, Alicia, for joining our live colour session this evening. And your question is, hi, I'm building a weatherboard cottage bungalow style home on the New South Wales North Coast. It's close to the beach and backs onto coastal bushland. Hoping for some advice for the exterior weatherboard and trim colour. We have Colorbond shale grey roof and Dover white fascia, and also a Dover white garage door. I don't want to go too white, but definitely searching for a lighter neutral greige to pair with white trims. So I tried Pebble Bay quarter, which is nice, but maybe slightly flat. Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you. So for anybody out there that's wondering what a greige is, I'll quickly touch on that, and then I will look at finding some suitable colours for you, Alicia. So when you look at grey, I like to categorise grey into 4 categories. So you've got a grey that is a blue-based grey. So, it has more of a blue undertone or a blue base. Then you have a grey that can be defined as being a purple or red based. So hence, it tends to have more of a red sort of undertone. Then you have a neutral style grey, which tends to have more of a green undertone. And a neutral style grey is very, very easy to work with. So anybody that's, looking to begin their colour journey and they're wanting to use some form of grey, starting in that neutral space is a really good place. And then greige. So greige is a grey that tends to have more of a, dare I say, a browny sort of undertone. So a beautiful colour to work with again, and very much a style of grey that we're seeing. It's very much on trend, and we're seeing that being used a lot, both externally and also internally as well. So given that you have, as you said, shale grey and Dover white, so they are the 2 colours there for anybody at home that's unsure of those. So I'm going to give you a lovely soft greige that's going to work with that. So I don't want to take you too brown, but there are a few colours, and I'm keeping in mind that you still like it to be relatively light as well. So there's a fantastic colour called Grey Matter So I'm going to do my best to hold it up to the screen. It may not, when you're looking at lights and you're looking at screens, etc., sometimes the colours can look a little bit distorted. But that's a beautiful, it's a beautiful tone there. And you can see how well it sits with the Colorbond Dover White and also Shale Grey. So that's certainly a tone that I would definitely recommend. So that one, Alicia, is Grey Matter. Now another colour, again, you could go slightly, okay. I was going to say, okay, so thanks, Alicia. You've just said there is a colour. Okay, I tend to like the green undertone. Sorry, I didn't specify that. Perfect. Okay. Well, I would recommend having a look at, look, you could even look at Gazebo White. That's a really beautiful, soft, more of a neutral style, as I was just explaining before when we're talking about greys. Okay, so here we go here. That's a lovely tone again that sits really, really well with your two chosen Colorbond colours. So have a look at Gazebo White and let me see what else I would recommend for you. No, that looks a little bit too greyish. And you could also, there's a beautiful tone here, which I think would be worth having a look at as well. So, which is a tone here called Lunar Rock. So if I pop that there, you can just see how that sings again with those two tones. So have a look at Lunar Rock. Have a look at Gazebo White, and we could probably even, just thinking, sorry everyone, thinking and working. Let me see. I just don't want to take you too light, because when you start putting lighter tones outside, what can happen is, you know, they can be, I like to use the term, they get lightened up by the sun. So they tend to be a little bit, they tend to become bleached out by the sun. So it doesn't like bleach the colour per se, but the colour tends to dilute because of the sun. So you need to ensure that when you're looking at your whites, that it has enough, or your light tones, that they have enough substance so that they can stand full sun without being too, I guess, without looking too washed out. There's another beautiful tone here as well, which I think sits really, really well, called Amenity. So I think those tones would be, those colours would be, here we go. You can sort of see that one in the centre there. You're not seeing the true representation of the colour because the screen's distorting it. However, they sit really, really well together. But what I would recommend doing is, Alicia, and I say this to everybody that's starting to look at colours, and this applies for both internally and externally, but getting yourself a large piece of cardboard and grabbing yourself a sample pot of the colours that you're wanting to test. And on that large piece of cardboard, you want it to be at least 1 metre by 1 metre square. Now brush out 3 coats of your chosen colour. The first coat is going to aid as an undercoat, if you like, and then 2 top coats, because most of our products are a 2-coat system. And then once it is dry, test it in areas, like test it outside. You're looking at areas that are, you know, drenched, so full sun, just to see how the colour is going to perform externally, but also looking at areas that lack sun, so you can see how it's going to look when you don't have a lot of sunlight. It's really, really important, and that gives you a better understanding to see how the colour is going to work for you and play to its environment. I hope that helps you, Alicia. If you do have any more questions, please pop something else into the feed. I'll be very happy to help you or assist you further. Thank you. Okay, so we've got a question from Joanne. Hi Joanne, thank you very much for joining our session. So is there a colour called Soft Smoke? That's a colour option we've been told about. Now I'm pretty sure there is. Whether I have it on this fan deck that is in front of me, maybe not. So bear with me while I see whether I've got it here, otherwise I can look it up on the net. So it's not in this fan deck. Let me just see. Is there something particular that you'd like to know about it, Joanne? Are you wanting to know whether it's going to, or what other colours it's going to work with, etc.? Give me a little bit more information. I'd be certainly very, very happy to give you some further information on it. I'll just have a look at it and see if it's in our colour range here. And then once we finish streaming, I can share it in the feed for you. We do have a colour called Soft Smoke. It's a beautiful tone. I do have it here. Thank you. It's one of the new housing colours. And I'll bring it up on the screen for you. Let's have a look here. Okay, I've just popped myself up in the corner. Okay, Joanne, this is the colour here. It's a very soft, neutral, as it says, a soft smoke. So it is a grey per se, but quite a neutral grey. So it's going to sit and pair back very well with a lot of other elements. You also like Windy Beach as well, Joanne. Yeah, thanks. I can see that in the feed there. That's another fantastic colour as well. So I think, I'm presuming you're building. If you are, whether you choose Soft Smoke or whether you go for Windy Beach, I think you can't go wrong. They're two both beautiful, versatile colours that are going to sit and work with a lot of elements. So a really good colour choice. I hope that helps you. Okay, I'll bring myself back. If there's anything else that I can help you with, Joanne, please pop something else into the feed. Be very happy to do so. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I've got a lot of frequently asked questions. So a lot of questions and a lot of I guess you could say topics that seem to reoccur. So very happy to, bring to life a few of them this evening. So the first one is, what are you seeing happening with whites for interiors and what suits a space with travertine? So that's a really good question. So we are starting to see that whites for interior, look, whites, I think, and we see it all the time, whites, one of our most popular colours. I think for the Australian market, everybody loves white. It's very easy to work with. You can't go wrong. You've just got to be mindful of the varying undertones in whites and understand how they'll play within your space. And as I was mentioning before, really, really good opportunity to test them via a sample pot because they will change within your space. So if you're starting a white journey and you're standing at the colour wall and you're deliberating over where do I begin, go armed. So before you go into your paint store, take a piece of white computer paper with you, or when you get to the colour wall, have a look for a colour chip called Brilliant White. Brilliant White is our stock standard white. I shouldn't say stock standard white. Brilliant White is a fantastic colour. So it's our white that sits in our Taubmans Endure, if you like. And so from that, you can create the colours that we've been talking about this evening. So it's going armed will help you, or grabbing that Brilliant White colour chip, because when you start to look at whites and you're putting them all together, it can become quite confusing. But when you're putting it up against another white piece of paper, which is, nice and bright, or as I said before, that Brilliant White colour chip, you can start to see the undertone of the colour come to life. So, whites can be categorised as you've got a warm white, a neutral style white, you've got a cool white, etc. And it's important to understand how they'll play within your space. So if you have a room that is saturated with a lot of natural light, using a cool white works really, really well. If you have an area that lacks a lot of sunlight, it's better to, my advice would be to use a white that is slightly warmer. And the reason being is if you use a white that's got too much of a cool undertone, or let's say a blue undertone, in an area that lacks light, the white's going to look dull, it's going to look gloomy, and your room isn't going to have that really nice, welcoming aesthetic that we're all trying to aim for. So that's just a tip. Again, as I talked about, sample potting your colour and testing it in varying lights and varying areas in your room or your home is really going to help as well. So going back to, what whites are we seeing? We're seeing our whites start to warm up. and I think it's fantastic. I love some of the beautiful whites that we are seeing come into play. And so if you're looking at, as the question was, we've had a lot of comments about, you know, what sits really well with travertine. If you're looking for a white that's going to work really well with travertine, I'm going to tell you one straight away. It's Aria Ivory. It is the most beautiful warm white. And you can also pair that back with crisp white as well. So next time you go into your local paint store, have a look for this, which is our Taubmans Equilibrium 2024 colour forecast. Open up to where it says scented, and there's a beautiful range of whites. All of the colour names are down the bottom there. Some of our fantastic favourites and most loved whites, as loved by you all, but also introducing some warmer whites to appeal to that modern Mediterranean aesthetic. So I hope that helps you. I've got more questions coming in here. Okay, so back, Joanne, sorry. So we like Windy Beach, that's correct. Are they similar in colour? They are very similar in colour. So let me just see. I'll quickly bring Windy Beach up on the screen for you, and that way it's going to help you just to have a quick visual. Let me bring that up. Where are we? Okay, popping myself in the corner. Yay. Okay, there is Windy Beach there. There's a quick sample of what the colour looks like. Very, very similar to what we've just had on the screen before, which was Soft Smoke. So either one of those you certainly can't go wrong with. And I'd say, Joanne, probably the best thing to do is grab a sample pot and test it for yourself just to see how the colour is going to work for you, etc. I hope that helps. If you've got any further questions, please pop them into the feed. Very happy to help. Okay, I'll stop sharing and come back on. Okay, so Kim, thank you very much for joining our session this evening. Okay, so hi Fiona, we're looking at repainting the interior of our house. We have brown floor tiles and wanting to go a warm white with feature walls. What colours would work best with the brown tiles? We have a white and black kitchen. Okay, fantastic. So if you've got brown floor tiles and you're wanting to go a warm white and you're wanting feature walls, I guess there's quite a few options. So automatically I think of, we've got some beautiful tones, and one of the colours I think of is, if you've got brown floor tiles, I think of a colour called nutmeg, and it is pretty much, you know, what you think of when you think of nutmeg. So something like, which is this colour here, would look fabulous for feature walls, working with your brown floor tiles, and it is light enough to work really, really well against your black and white kitchen. So that would be one suggestion. Another suggestion would be to introduce a beautiful, you could introduce a beautiful green, whether you choose to go a little bit deeper, maybe more of an organic style green, something like, I automatically think of a colour called Albion Park. Let me just see if I can get that here as well. I should know where it is. I've looked it up that many times, but you can never find it when you want it when you're live. It's always the way. There's no pressure. Where are we? 75. So this is a beautiful tone here. That would look sensational against your black and white kitchen, and then with a warm white and obviously your brown floor tiles. If you want to go a little bit lighter, you could take it up the scale here. So you could go for something like Grey Heron or even Lazy Days. So I think something like that, or the nutmeg, or you know what you could even introduce as well is more of a, you could even go, this is beautiful as well. Where are we? I've got the most gorgeous palette happening here for you. Something like, I'll show you here. I'll keep those blades out. You could even go something like Baby Bear, or even the one up, which is called Fetching Pink. It is gorgeous. And again, it's going to work really well with your black and white and your brown. And so if I were to recommend a warm white to work with those, depending on how white you want it. So a warmer style white, and I mentioned that before, there's Aria Ivory, which is beautiful. I know that's going to pair back quite well with some of the colours that I've just mentioned. Let me have a look here. Or you could even, go, where are we? Okay. So Kim, how warm do you want the white? How much colour do you want in your white, so to speak? I guess that's the question that I'm asking. So do you want the white to be like have that warm undertone but be quite bright, or are you wanting your white to have quite a bit of intensity to it, so a little bit more colour? Because you could go, if you're wanting a, so you could use a colour, it's not necessarily a warm white, it's more of a neutral white. I love it. It's our number one white. And I'm just thinking as well, having your white kitchen, tying it all in. You could use crisp white, and crisp white's going to be, as it says, very crisp and sharp against the tones that I've mentioned tonight. But still, it's not a clinical white. It still has a slight element of, it's got a very soft glow, so there's nothing clinical about it. Or you could go, there is a colour here. Yeah, here we go. This is the colour as well. If you want that next step up, you could certainly go, as I mentioned before, which is the tone here. I've got to remember there's the camera. That tone there is called Aria Ivory. Now that sits really well with the colours that I have popped on screen this evening for you. So you can pop that with, we want a more subtle undertone. Okay, thank you. Okay, we want a more subtle undertone as our walls are currently more of an almond paste colour. Okay, I'd look at crisp white. That's going to give you a really soft, subtle undertone. I don't want to give you something that's got too much colour. You could also look at Aria Ivory. I was going to say Tibetan tea, but no, you could look at Aria Ivory. It's a very soft, warm white. It is the most beautiful white. And it's going to sit with every colour that I'm just looking at it now. It sits with every colour that I've mentioned tonight for you. Yeah. So crisp white, Aria Ivory for your whites. For a feature wall colour, have a look at Grey Heron, Lazy Days. Certainly have a look at Nutmeg, Pale Russet. You could even go up to Sombrero Tan, which is a nice, it's still within that, when I first talked about Nutmeg, it's still within that colour, but it's a little bit more diluted. And then you could also look at Baby Bear. Oh, these just sing, they look beautiful. Or even Fetching Pink. And I think imagining, you know, the brown timber floors, the brown tiled floors, your black and white, and then those other colours. It's going to be a beautiful colour palette. So have a look at those. If you need any further information, please pop something else into the feed. I'll be very happy to assist you further. Thank you. Okay. Yes, hi Kim. Yep, coming back to you, certainly. Okay, so your next question is, we get a lot of sunlight in most of the house except 2 bedrooms. Would crisp white still work in the rooms without much sunlight? Absolutely. It's a beautiful tone. It would work throughout. You could certainly even use, you know, the crisp white on your, you could use crisp white on your ceiling, you could use it on your walls, and you could also use it on your doors and trims, but ensuring that the product that you use is fit for purpose. And by that I mean there's varying products to be used for varying parts of the room, if you like. So for a ceiling, you're using a ceiling white, which is primarily a flat paint. It's designed to stop any glancing light and certainly hide any imperfections. And then obviously for your walls, I'd recommend something like Taubmans Endure Low Sheen. It is a fantastic product. It has inbuilt mold inhibitors. It has NanoGuard technology, which means that it allows you to not only wipe, but you can actually scrub your walls. It's a fantastic product. And then for your doors and trims, I'd be looking at using something like a water-based enamel. And the beauty of that is a water-based enamel is extremely hard wearing. And being water-based, it's not going to yellow. So if you are going to use white on your doors and trims, you want it to stay nice and bright and white. And so you're going to get that when you use our Taubmans water-based enamel. So really important to understand the varying products to be used in the varying areas of each room. I hope that helps. Certainly happy to give you some more information. Okay. So hi Daphne, thank you very much for joining our session tonight. So we have a 50s house orange bricks and terracotta roof that we are stuck with. We are looking for exterior colours to complement ColourBond monument gutters. Should we use a light grey in windows and trims or a white, warm white or cool white? So let me just get this right. We have a 50s house orange brick and terracotta tile. Looking for the exterior colours to complement ColourBond gutters. Okay. Okay, so you could use, so given that you've got orange bricks and terracotta roof tile, I'm just putting all of this together here. And then you have monument on the gutters. Should we use a light grey in windows? You could use a light grey within your windows. That would look fantastic. And I would, if you were to use a light grey, I would look for a grey that has, as I mentioned earlier this evening, having that green undertone or that neutral undertone. So when you look at a colour wheel, and if you're looking at, you know, where red sits, the opposite to red is green. And so, you know, when I'm thinking about terracotta tiles, etc., I'm thinking of having something that's going to have that green undertone. I'm not talking about a bright green, but I'm just giving you a little bit of colour theory, if you like, as to how colours work together and how they're designed to work together and why they work together. So I would be looking for a grey per se that has that neutral / green undertone that's going to sit really well with monument and also going to work really well with your other elements, being your terracotta tiles and also your bricks. So for a grey, let's have a look at something that's more green. We could use, or you could use, sorry. Where are we? I think I want something that's a little bit greener. It's okay, I like to talk to myself as I'm looking for the colours. I'm thinking you could use, no, I want Berkshire. Let me just have a look here. Brimstone. Where are we? 31. Okay. There we go. There's a beautiful colour. I would recommend having a look at this. It sits perfectly with monument. Let's hope you can see that. That's the colour there. It's called Brimstone Smoke. That's going to work really, really well with your monument, and it's going to sit extremely well with your brick along with your terracotta tiles. So that would be an option. If you choose to go white, I think that white may be a little bit too white, if you can understand what I mean. Like, I think having some type of colour, and I mean obviously this is quite a neutral tone that we're looking at and it's still going to look quite white, but I think having a little bit of colour as opposed to white is going to work really, really well, and it's going to offset nicely against the brick, the terracotta, and of course monument. So that would be my suggestion. Having a look at Brimstone Smoke. If you're wanting something if you want to go just a little bit lighter, also have a look at a colour called Eagle Crest. I think that works really, really well as well. So there's two options there for you. And I'll pop this one up on the screen. There it is there. Still light enough, and also taking into consideration that when you put a colour outside, it tends to lighten up even more. So that would be the way. As I said, Brimstone Smoke or Eagle Crest. I hope that helps you. If you do have any more questions, please pop something else into the feed. I'll be very happy to answer any more of your queries. So thank you very much, Daphne. I hope that helped. What else do we have here? Okay, hi Kelly, thank you very much for joining us. So you're saying, I'm refreshing the interior of a 1930s cottage. My kitchen is currently cotton ball walls, okay? White cabinets with a navy black marble bench top. Oh, that sounds divine. I'd love a pop of colour on a feature wall. The wall is in the dark side of the kitchen, a big window on the opposite wall. What can you suggest? Okay, so you've got with a navy black marble, cabinets with a navy black marble bench top. Ooh, okay, so let me just get cotton ball up. Do you have a preference, Kelly, to what colours that you actually love? I mean, I'm thinking, so a navy, hang on, so you've got white cabinets with a navy. So let me, actually, sorry, so your kitchen is currently cotton ball walls, white cabinets with navy and then a black marble bench top. Can you clarify that, please? Or is it with a navy black marble bench top? Because that'll change the direction that we'd probably choose to go. If you can just clarify that for me, that would be fantastic. Okay, what else do I have? And then I'll come back to you, Kelly. Thank you very much. Hi, Jenny. Thank you very much for joining us. This will be our last question. I think I'm just about to go over time. Okay, so we have an ironstone colour bond fencing and we're looking to do Windy Beach for the exterior. Lovely. Can you give me some suggestions for the roofing colour? Jenny, immediately I think if you're using ironstone for your colour bond fencing and then you're going to use Windy Beach for the exterior, it's really one of the keys to achieving, you know, a fantastic looking, well-balanced colour scheme, whether it be internally or externally, is one of the principles of design. I seem to be rambling tonight. I think I must be a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit rusty, I think. One of the principles of design is repetition. And so when I read what you've written there, the first thing I think of is to create that beautiful cohesive colour scheme. I'm going to recommend that you use your ironstone colour for your roofing colour, because it's going to help to bring or tie everything together. It would look fantastic. When I am helping clients with new builds, or even like if they're painting the exterior of their home, this is the way I like to work, and it's kind of served me really well so far. So if you're looking at painting, using 3, maximum 4 colours on the exterior of your home. And I love to see things like your roof, your garage door, window frames, fencing, etc., the same colour, because it creates that cohesion. And then the facade is another colour, and then you can introduce another colour if you like. You might want to do your fascia or your guttering, etc., in another colour, or even introducing another colour on your front door. So it gives you room to play and it creates that cohesive feel. So I would certainly, Jenny, recommend that you do ironstone for your roofing. I hope that helps. I'm happy to give you more suggestions if that is not the way that you were hoping to go. Okay, so I have gone over time. It's fantastic. I've still got a lot of questions there that I will answer for you. I'm just going to stop streaming in front of the camera, and I'll be behind the computer here, still live, still answering your questions. So you can keep them coming through and I'll certainly keep answering them for you. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been fantastic. It's always great when we're here to talk about our wonderful products that we have and to help you with colour. So until we will be back here again next week, just in time for a quick one before Easter to help you with your Easter projects. But until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic week. And as I love to say and always sign off with, happy painting, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.